Hi, this is Linda Ray from Real Estate One, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you. We came up with a little bit of a different twist this year since COVID has changed our life, unfortunately. But we are not going to be sending out the Christmas cards and newsletters that we normally do. What we decided to do is to get Miss Sherry Lynn, which is a fantastic decorator for me, and also she can decorate Christmas like no one else, to come on and actually give us some classes. Sherry did a wreath class last week, and we did record that. It is on our website, lindarayteam.com. It's all over Facebook and social media as well. A lot of people have been watching it, enjoyed it, Sherry, a lot. It teaches you all those little nuggets that she's learned over the years and makes decorating so much easier and very professional looking. Actually, it gets me motivated. I got part of my mantle done today, Sherry. Yeah, did you see that? And Paula and I are also going to be doing, Sherry's going to be doing a class tonight on the mantle, but she did the one for the wreath last week. And those are posted. But Paula and I are going to do a offer the same class next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And I'm going to walk Paula through decorating my chandelier over the dining room table. I feel like my family is the most important people in the whole world and friends. And when they come to my house for dinner, I want them to feel like they're very, very special. In fact, that's what their nameplates say. It's a very special person. So I'm going to show how easy it is to do that and give you more table room that way without having as much to decorate on the table. So that gives more room for all your glasses and etc. So we're going to have fun doing that, right, Paula? She's saying yes. So the other thing is we're going to record this one again and put it out there for everybody to share. But we want to bring up the subject of habitat here. This is a free class to everybody, and it's a nice Christmas gift to everyone. But I do want to mention Habitat Women Bill, that any donations that we do receive, and Vicki will help you with that, will be matched by Real Estate One 100% up to $1,000. We're halfway there already, and so we're going to be working on that. I have full confidence with a little bit from everybody. We're going to meet our goal and over that real fast. That will assure that other children and so forth have what they need for the holidays as well. So let's get started with Sherry and let her introduce herself and how I met you, Sherry. Let's do it.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sherry Lynn, and I have a custom drapery business. It's called Creations by Sherry Lynn. I'm located in Macomb Township. You can find me on the web at creationsbysherrylynn.net. And I've had the business for about over 23 years. And I met Linda. I don't even know how Linda got my name originally, but I met her. She had some ideas of what she wanted to do, and I came over and we talked, and she allowed me to do 2 rooms in her house. And then just recently, probably about a month ago, I did another room for her. So we do large jobs, small jobs. We're strictly residential. I don't do blinds, just custom window treatments. And my business is totally custom. So I'm a one-stop shop. I'm the person that you're going to see from beginning to end. I'll help you design the window treatment, pick out the fabric. I'm there on installation day, and I even make the draperies. I have a couple girls that have worked for me, and I enjoy doing it. So it's been a blessing while I've raised my kids, and just enjoy meeting wonderful people like Linda. So that's a little bit about my business. Today we're going to do a mantle, and I'm going to grab a picture. So this is how I work. Generally, I had to print it out because I usually work from my computer. And I'm going to tell you, the first thing I'm going to suggest to you is if you tackle this, and it's easy, and you can make it as elaborate as you want or as simple as you want, but I'll give you the fundamentals of what to do. But once you have it complete and you love it, take a picture of it, put it on your computer, your iPad, and then next year, bring that picture up as you're working on it. I label everything when I take it down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But now today, I'm going to know that when I start with this, just for instance, the garland swags that are hanging, I would never remember that there's 4 swags. I'd be rethinking that all over again. So now I'm going to look at this picture, and I even can see from the picture that the gold garland is behind the red and gold beaded garland, and then the other one's on front. So I'm not rethinking it. It's never going to come out exactly the same. But if any of you have done any type of craft project, half of it is going to shop for the items. And then the other big piece of it is thinking about the design. So once you have the design and you label everything, it's so much easier. So we're going to refer to this picture as I go along, but I want to show you some of the things that I've incorporated in this and are easy things to pick up. So the first thing is I'm grabbing things. I love working with plastic bulbs. My tree is totally plastic bulbs because if any of you, especially when I'm working on my staircase and it's a 2-story staircase, and I used to use, you know, the glass bulbs, you'd start stringing them on and then plop, shatter all over the floor. So when you drop these, it's not a problem. They're easy to store. I literally just throw all the bulbs in a bin and I don't have to worry about anything breaking. Another thing that we're going to use with the glass bulbs and with anything we wire in is floral wire. And you can buy this at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, but I'll tell you the gauge because that really helps, because if I don't even remember half the time. I think it's 24 gauge. It is 24 gauge. For Christmas, I either use silver or gold. You don't want anything that's going to show up, and most of the time you won't even see it. But the 24 gauge bends really easy. You can see that, but it still works well. So get yourself a spool of that. It's inexpensive, $3, and you're set to go. Another thing, we all probably have a man in the house who just cringes when you bring out some nails and a hammer and you want to hammer into your nice fireplace. So what I suggest people get are the command strips. Now I am going to use a few nails in mine because before I discovered the command strips, that's what I used. And so I have the holes in the top, but literally my fireplace is up high enough you can't see it. But there are just some men that if you bring out the nails and hammer, they're just going to go crazy. So the command strips that I'm going to suggest that you get are tiny. I bought these at one point at Costco, and it was a huge box of them. There's 30 of them in there. So, and I leave a couple up all year round because my mantle is white. You really don't see them, and they're toward the back, but they are small. They only hold up to 5 pounds. And really with the garland being distributed, that's all you need. But can you tell how tiny they are? So when the trick to doing this is, let me just unhook this. You see how it's got I'm going to say a hook. You want to make sure that when you put these along the back of your mantle, the hook is facing toward the back like that. Because what happens is we're going to run our wire. And can you guys nod and tell me, are you seeing this well enough? Okay, good. So we put our wire, I'm going to show you, whoops, sorry. When we put our wire and it's facing toward the back, if the garland is pulling forward, which it will because you're going to have a little bit of weight on it, it's not going to come off. If you put it facing the front, it would, wait, do I have, yes. Okay, so it wouldn't hold. So we need to have it facing like this. So it's pulling against it, okay? All right, so that's one thing. The garland that I use, I saw Michael's had some different ones. I use 3 different kinds. You can use however many you want. This is one of the garlands. They come in, I think, 6-foot pieces. I may have 2 in here that I've wired together. So this is one of the chunky ones that I have. Then I use your typical, this has been around for decades, just the gold ball. And if you're going with the theme of silver, you can do it that way. And then this is a pretty gemstone one that I use. So those are the 3 that we're going to use tonight, the balls. Then have two different types of picks that I use. And I'll be honest with you, I've probably done this mantle for about 8 years. Now I'm thinking of changing my colors in my house. So next year I might not be doing red, but I love red trees. It just reminds me of Christmas. But this is one pick, and we'll count as I'm going along, and I'll tell you how many I use in this mantle. But what I love about this is when you're sticking it in and out, it gives it some nice dimension, and you can move these really well. So I leave them all intact and do it like that. And then these are just some glittered feathers, and they're really plastic. They're not even feathers, but these are really nice too. They just sparkle and look nice on the mantle. I'm going to use two different types of ribbon. I always like to use a gold glittered ribbon. And then this ribbon I got years ago at Wiegand's Nursery. That's a nice place. Gordines is a beautiful place in Rochester. They have beautiful ribbons. And I'll tell you, this ribbon was a little more expensive ribbon, but like I said, I probably used it for 8 years and it has held up. This is a trick too. I'll show you now because you're seeing it. When I'm done with my mantle for the next, in January, when I'm all done, what I do is you're going to see how I'm going to intertwine this, but I take the two ribbons, put it together, and then I just roll it like this. So I roll the whole thing. And once I've got it all rolled together, sometimes I'll take a paper clip, it just depends, and I'll put a piece of tissue paper around it and put it in the box with all the ribbons. And I have large Tupperware containers, and I just label mantle, and I'll list all the different pieces that are in there. So when I want to start my mantle, I know which Rubbermaid container to go to and use it. But this has rolled up and held beautifully. If you buy an inexpensive ribbon, maybe you're going to get 2 seasons out of it. And maybe you like to change things up. So that's the best way to do it. But I know that I'm a red person, and I've used this, like I said, for 8 years, and it's the best way. And it's really been worth the money that I've spent on it. Okay, I want to show you a little bit about lighting. My garland, I don't know if this year Costco has it. For the past, oh gosh, I'd say 5 years. They've had I think it's either a 9-foot length of garland, and it's pre-lit, and it is well worth the money. It's not that expensive. You'd probably need one of them for your mantle, but it's already lit and it's nice and full. That's the trick of doing the garland. You do need something that's a little more substantial to start off with. If you find something that's thinner, what I would suggest is buy a couple and intertwine them together first before you start. But you need some garland that is heavy. I'll show you the garland we're going to use. You can kind of see it's heavy. So, and this I did get at Costco years ago. So, and you're going to see that there are 2 bows on the end of them. How I store this garland is we have an attic in the garage. So my husband put a couple really large hooks that hang from the rafters. So we just have this hanging. So literally I have the 2 bows still on it, and I keep it, and they definitely need to be fluffed. And then I'm pretty big into labeling things. So let me see if I can show you one of these. Yeah. So see the yellow, this is just like a Post-it note that I covered with plastic, and it says right end. So I know when I grab this garland that this is going on the right side of my mantle, and I don't have to figure out which side I start with or whatever like that. So let me put that down. And the other thing I want to show you, and I'm going to plug them in real quick, and I'm going to flip this up a little bit so you can see now. I'm going to plug them in. They're called random sparkle lights, or I'm going to show you the box. I just got this box at Hobby Lobby. This is old. I got this either at Michael's or Home Depot has carried them. They're called random sparkle lights, and this is called shimmering mini lights. It's the same thing. But what it does is, I'm gonna turn my computer to my tree, and I'm gonna see if you can tell. It is just the littlest thing of flashing. They don't flash off and on. It's a random. So it looks like you're kind of looking at what's going on. I happened to go into a client's house probably 10 years ago, and we were doing the drapes, and I kept noticing her tree, something was flickering. And I said, what is that? What's going on? Are the lights going on and off? She goes, they're called random sparkle lights. And that's how I learned about it. Let me just turn it over to see. It's hard for me to, okay. So I don't know with the tree what you can see, but can you see? I'm going to show you like, and I just literally run it down the center of my tree, the lights. It's just the slightest hint of a flicker in there. Can anybody notice it on the tape, on the TV? No, you can't. Okay. Well, you're going to be able to notice it on the garland, but it's just like there's a little flicker of a candle in the inside the mantle. So, and let me show you how they work. I'm going to grab. Okay. So can you see me? Yes, you can. I'm going to turn this a little bit more. Okay. And let me plug it in. I'm going to take this off now. So we don't need that anymore. Okay. And let me plug this in. It takes a minute for them to start. And then they'll start. And half of this one is the lights are blown out, but it's going to be perfect. I wouldn't use it for my tree. It's not enough, but for the mantle it is. Like here's one that's, can you see them doing it? Yes, you can. I see a couple of people saying yes. Okay, so that's what they do. You have to be really careful. You'll see when it happens. You don't want that sticking like right out because then it's really apparent. We're going to push it inward to kind of hide it. But, all right. And I am looking for my two. Oh, I forgot to bring two things in here. I will have to grab them. My two angels. I don't know where I put them. Oh, okay. The two big angels. So you kind of want a focal point, and let me refer back to this. So I've got the one angel here, and then I've got two here, and I bought those from Bourdines probably 8 years ago too. But they give it a little bit of height and dimension. So let me show you, and then hard to put everything in front. On top of the angels are just some glittered candles that you can pick up at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and they have a battery in them. And I just wrapped some garland around it just to give it a little bit of extra pizzazz. So on there, I'm gonna set this here. Okay. So for instance, that's going to be right in there. And I think I usually put that a little closer to the end. I'm going to grab my picture to look at. Yeah, okay. So we're going to start by attaching the greenery. Really, that's the hardest thing to do, I'll be honest with you, because it's heavy, it's weighty, and you're trying to balance everything. So if you guys can be patient, I'm going to take these down. I'm going to tap in a few nails. You're going to see what I'm doing. I have, but I'll show you where to put the command strips. I put one on the end toward the wall, back toward the wall, and then I put one in the upper corner here. I have another one right here in the middle, and then I'm going to grab these down. Okay. And then I have another one over here at the end, and then put one in the middle also, right here. Now here, I'm going to put a few nails in. If you're going to do the garland, what I would suggest is the hanging beads. I would suggest to put a few more, but we can also use our branches. That's what's nice about using fake greenery. It's really hard to do a really decorated tree or a mantle when you use real greenery, because there's nothing to bend, and it's just so, it just tends to lay, where you can get the wire and the greenery to work for you also. So I'm going to tap in a few of these little guys. Let me just do that. I started over here. Let's see. holes are already in here for me, so I don't have to really do too much work. And then I just pull them out and save them for the following year. I have more because I put the garland up in here, so. Okay, and this is the last one. Okay, we're all set with that. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to take our wire, which I have to, right here, and I'll be honest, cut yourself a good length of wire when you're doing it. Don't be skimpy. This wire is so cheap, and it's easy if you cut a long piece to be able to find it when you're trying to attach it to something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 4 pieces to start off with. And I am going to first wrap those around those command hooks that I have. Because then, if I already have it wrapped around the command hook, it's a lot easier to attach your garland than you trying to get the garland up there, than trying to wrap it around the command hook. So let me see, I've got 3 up there, so there we go. All right. And wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And remember, I told you to put the hook so that it is, once again, so you don't forget, if this is the back of the wall, here's your wall, here's the front of your fireplace, put it like this, so the hook is facing toward the wall, okay? So let me attach it. So I'm wrapping it about 4 times around. Shouldn't be, let me get out of your way. And the nice thing about the command hooks is you can take them right off if you don't want to leave them on. But they're clear and you really can't see them. Okay, so that's pretty good on there. Now, let me just see where my label was. Okay, so this says right side, so that's going over there. And don't be concerned if you don't have an outlet in the top of your fireplace. I don't. What I did, just another trick, is I have, let me see if I can, I'm going to put this a little more over here and down, and I'll show you. Move the chair. So I have a white fireplace. So I have a white cord, and during the rest of the year, I pretty much leave the cord hidden because it's behind the plant. I'm kind of a, I'm going to say a cord snob. I don't like to see a lot of cords. So I have the cord here, and I literally have it running down the side of my fireplace. It is molded, and how I did that is there's little, if you go to the electrical department, there will be little electrical hooks. They're like a U. And you can push it into either the wall or the side of the fireplace. And so when you're looking from anywhere in my house, you barely see it. I mean, if I point it out, you're going to see it. But otherwise, it just runs. And then I have it running along the floor behind my drapes and plugged in. Another great thing I want to show you is I use all these on my trees and everything. These are great. They're just electrical outlets, but they come with a on-off switch. So all my lights are, and if you buy the same brand, you can do more than one outlet. So my mantle will be on this, and I'll show you after it's done. All you do is hit on and off. So when I want to go to bed at night, my tree, my lamps on my piano, my little tree over in the other corner, I just click the button and everything turns off. So that's a nice little thing to buy. And you can buy these at, they have them at Home Depot. I mean, and they're wonderful with the remote. So, all right. So we want to plug this in. Let me just see, right side. Let me make sure I have the right side. No, okay. Right side, this is left side. Now I got to figure out where the plug is. Oh. Well, doesn't that figure? Okay. what I'm gonna first do is I think I'm gonna wire this in before I plug anything in, because I think I have to add another thing of lights. And now I'm hooked. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I am taking this. This is almost, it could be a two-person job, to tell you the truth. And I'm gonna let this cascade over on this side right here. Now, why it's a little bit easier, I know where to put it, because there's my bow from this year, and that's why it would help. So I know I want my bow on the end, so we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna grab my wire, one end of the wire, and this is where it gets a little bit tough, and I'm gonna grab my other end of the wire. I gotta find it. Okay, and I am literally going to take those two ends, and I am just wrapping, I am gonna wrap this super tight, probably about 5 or 6 times, wrap it around each other, the ends. And I'm putting it over the whole entire garland. I wanna get this really good. So that's about 4, 5, 6. Okay, so see, if I walk away, it's not gonna go anywhere. All right, so now, once we get the center up, we'll be, well, okay. Can you believe it pulled the hook off? Okay, I'm gonna do something else. Sorry, guys. Let me just do this. That hook has been on there for a long time, so I'm gonna do this. Okay. I've had that hook on there for quite a few years, so it, I guess, lasted as long as it was gonna last. So let's do it this way. I'm gonna take another piece of wire. Put it around. Okay, that shouldn't go anywhere. Let's start again. And if you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to put it in the comments, and then Vicki will ask me.
And Sherry, while you are hanging that up, I'm going to just remind everyone, Linda talked earlier about Habitat for Humanity. If you go to Linda Ray's website, which is www.lindarayteam.com, on the homepage, you are going to find, and I'm going to pull it up here for you so that way you can see it, but there is a button right towards the top of the page underneath the team photo that will talk about Habitat and how you can give this holiday season to Habitat. Obviously, we're doing this, near the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas time, but don't forget, Habitat needs help all year long. It's not just a holiday thing. So if you go to lindarayteam.com on the homepage, you're just going to scroll down. You are going to see, I'm going to back up a little bit there. I don't know if can you guys see that? Is it too bright? It might be. Anyways, it just says donate to Habitat Women Build. And when you click on that, you are going to be able to open that. And there is actually a link about halfway down on the page. Thank you, Paula. There's a link about halfway down on the page with a giant blue button, yes. And when you click it, it says donate now. And once you open up that page and you hit donate now, you would just enter all of your information, whether it's $5, whether it is $50, $500. Know that Real Estate One is going to match all of our donations up to $1,000. And we have, yep, right there, Paula. Scroll back up just a little bit, Paula, and hit donate now. And then if you scroll down on that page, it shows you that is Habitat for Oakland County, the Women Build page. And on their page, they have a button that says down towards the bottom, donate now. And it's a light blue button. And when you hit that donate now button, it's going to give you the opportunity, like I mentioned, to put in the dollar amount that you would like to donate. Then you'll put your personal information. You can pay with credit card or debit card. And what's most important though is that you are going to see on that page where it says comment. Like you could leave a comment if you wanted to. Right there in the comment section, all you have to do is type Linda Ray. Yes, it's so important that you type Linda Ray right there because that's how we're going to get your contribution doubled. So you'll want to make sure that you do that when you make your donation. And like we said, no amount is too small, obviously not too big. We are grateful for every single donation that we get on behalf of the Linda Ray team, Real Estate One, and for Habitat. And if you have any questions regarding that, you can reach out to Linda at 248-709-3786. You can also reach out to me if you need to at 419-203-4226, and I can answer any questions or help you with those donations. All right, Sherry, it looks like you've got your garland up there.
Okay, so just like when we did the wreath, we do want to fluff it a little bit and pull out some of the greenery. I also like to have it hanging over the front a little bit. It just gives it some dimension, along with hanging over the sides too. But I just want to pull this up and do that. So we got that. Because just like the wreath, you put a lot of stuff on here and you want to be able to, and I'm sorry, I'm cut off. I had to redo that. Okay. So just like the wreath, you want to be able to see everything. A little bit of the greenery. And you know what? I cannot find the starting plug, so we're just going to put some more lights on here. It's hidden and I don't want to take up time. Unless this is it. Let me see. Oh, I found it. Yay. Okay. So I've got that plug that we talked about earlier, and I just got to find it, the white outlet. And I'm going to put it in there, plug it in, and the lights go on. Thank goodness, because we all have had that happen before too, and that's frustrating. So those lights are on. The next lights I'm going to add are going to be the random sparkle lights. Okay. So I'm going to grab that. Now, I already told you that half of them aren't working, but that's all right because this isn't real long and I don't want it to be overwhelming. Let me just pull that out. Find the plug to plug into. Okay, and what I'm going to do is the part that isn't working is the first part. So what I'm going to just do is wad that up. These are all the tricks that no one else has to know, the secrets, you know, when it's done. Okay, so I'm just going to shove that back here. You're never going to see it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put this in. And when I do this, there's so much stuff on the greenery that you really don't see the cord. So, oh no, my ring is stuck. Okay. And you guys can take a lot more time doing this. For the sake of not keeping you here all night, I'm doing it pretty quick. Let me stand in front of you. You can see half a strand really is enough to go across the whole thing. Now, the next thing I want to do is put my angels up. And here are the angels that I was talking about, and they're going to have the same candle holder on it. But I want them to be elevated. I don't want, let me show you the picture again. Here's the picture. You can see that one of the angels is taller than the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a glass container underneath it. And let me just grab that. Let me just see what we got going here. So I know that the one that's closer to the picture is taller. So let me grab those. I got those right here somewhere. Oh, here they are. So literally, they're Tupperware. This is a canning jar and something else. And you see that I even label them, and I put Angel and Dish for Angel on the mantle. So then when I stack them away and put them away, I'll know in my Christmas stuff what to use them for. So I'm going to, this one's taller, so I'm going to put that back there. And the reason I do these after I've got the garland up is I learned the hard way. One of the years I put them up first and then was putting the garland up, and I broke her, and she's glued now. But anyway, so I do that after. So I've got the 2 jars up in there, and then I'm going to grab my angels. I want them to put, and you don't have to use angels. You can do whatever you want. There's the first one. So now she's taller. And then my lower jar is here. And she's just a little bit shorter. And I'll turn them into each other a little bit. And then, okay, and I'm going to add my gold candles. So I'm going to fix this so you spacing. There's that one. Let me grab the other one. Okay, and here's the next one. So right there, you can just see how those 2 little things make a big difference. I'm just adding some height and drawing your eye up. Can you guys, okay, do you see this one flickering like crazy? I'm pointing, now it's not going to do it.
Yes, we can see it, Sherry. It looks beautiful.
So what I do then is, instead of having it point outward, I'm going to have it point inward, and it'll just be a little bit of a flicker. Here's another one that's flickering. So I'm hoping that you get to see that, how that does flicker a little bit. And especially if you have the lights turned off, it looks really nice. Here's another one that's a little bit annoying. So I'm just going to shove it inward a little bit to hide it. Okay. So I'm just going to adjust these, and the bows will fix more after. And I want to show you how to do a bow too, in case you weren't here for the wreath class. But let me hide that cord. So the next thing I want to do is the garland, the beaded garland. So like I said, we are going to start with this gold garland. And I want to see, there's 4 of them. Okay, my trick for this is I don't want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to do 1, then maybe a short one. I want it to be a little more abstract, excuse me. So I'm just going to start. I'll show you what you can do. You can start by using I'm taking the end of the garland, and I'm taking one of the greenery stems. Let me get that out of the way for right now. We'll move that there. And I'm just wrapping it around the garland. So that'll hold it enough, okay? Now in my picture, if I'm looking at it, I gotta use my scissors. Oops. Well, it normally would hold it enough. Didn't do it enough. Let me get it again. Oh, I'm just wrapping it around there and getting it secured. You can also cut yourself a small piece of wire too if you want to wire it onto one of the green things. All right, so there's the first one. So now I want to make this one a little bit longer when I'm looking at my picture. So sometimes this takes a few tries. Hopefully we'll get it right the first time. I'm going to hook it onto there. Okay, so there's one. This one I'm going to make a little bit shorter. Do you see? So that one's shorter. Then I'm going to do it maybe a little bit wider, this one. So I need to find a piece of wire, greenery, and I'm just attaching it to the greenery. And then this one's going to be longer like this. And there's no rhyme or reason. You can play with it a little bit and just see what you like. I don't want it to be any longer than Santa. I'm going to shorten this one up a little bit because it's almost touching Santa Claus's head. Okay, so there we go. Now, I have extra garland, and like I told you, no one's gonna see the back of this mantle. You're only gonna know this. So I'm just throwing it back there and hiding what's ever left over, okay? My second one is going to be this beaded garland. I just gotta unhook it. What I do is I put them each in their individual Ziploc bags, all right? This came in 2 pieces, so we've got to kind of work half and half. All right, and my picture, I'm gonna refer to my picture again. So I'm kind of seeing what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna hook the first one. I am gonna start this at the same spot. I'm gonna start at the same, but I am not going to end it at the same spot here. I want them to overlap, all right? So this one, I think I'm gonna put like here. Okay, and then this one, I am going to put maybe right here. Find something to attach this to. Sorry. Something here. There we go. And I'm wrapping this around a piece of greenery. Okay, so there's that one. And then my next piece, I'm going to start right where I ended off. Okay. And this one I'm going to make longer. I'm going to do it right here, I think. And then my last piece is going to be short. It's going to be right here. I only had 2 pieces to work with, but you could, if you like them draped more, you can buy more than 1 or 2. And then my last piece is this red chunky piece, which is all one long piece. And just need to find the beginning. All right. And this one, I'm going to not start at the same spot. I don't want to stand in front so you can see. I'll start a little farther out maybe. We'll try that. All right, and this, I think I'm going to bring right to about here. I'm going to wrap this together. Okay, let me step over this way so I'm not in your way. This one, I think I'm going to bring maybe right here. And with the mantle, it's just all about layering things. Each thing that you add is going to give it more dimension and more layering. This, I'm going to make shorter. We'll bring it to here. Gotta find something to hook it onto. There's a piece. Okay. You know what? I'm not crazy about that. I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to bring it in and make it longer. Okay. And then this piece is going to be right here like that. I'm going to wrap it around, secure it real good, and then hide anything that was left over toward the back. All right, so there you've got another layer done. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is the ribbons. We want to get the ribbons in, and then we'll put the filler in, just like when we did the wreath. We did all the ribbons and things like that. I do want to show you how to do a bow. So let me grab my my ribbon, and I'm going to grab 2 different ribbons. Let's see. Okay. Got that? All right. So this is very similar to the ribbon that I was using, but it's not as expensive of a ribbon. And so I'm going to use that to show you. And then I am going to use a glittered gold ribbon. And I just love anything that's glittered with the lights. It just really catches and gives an extra little shimmer. So when we do a bow, we can do it one of two ways. I'm going to do it separate. I think it'll be easier for you guys to learn. So always a tail, about 12 inches maybe. And this is a good ribbon to show you because it's got a right side and a wrong side. So we always want to be observant that we want to keep the right side outward. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I'm going to do is just pinch it right here between my fingers. I'm going to put this over my shoulder. Pinch it between my fingers, and I'm going to make a loop. And the loop's about, the bigger the loop, the bigger your bow is going to be, but it's harder to do too. So we're going to do it about 6 inches. I'm then cinching it between my 2 fingers. But when I do that, I am turning it because now my right side will be on the outside. So I'm going to make the loop about the same as that one, cinch it, and then twist so it's on the right side again. And I'm going to repeat that probably about, we'll do it about 2 times. Now that was in a piece. So then we've got that. This tail is a little bit shorter, but that's all right because we can fix that. All right. So we've got 2 of those. Now I'm going to take my gold and repeat the same thing. Let's put a gold tail that's another 12 inches. I'm laying it right on top of there and pinching it. So your thumbs are getting a good workout there. I got to turn it to keep the glitter on the outside. And I'm going to make this just a fraction of an inch, maybe about 5.5 inches. It's a little bit smaller. I'm going to do one, flip it, twist, another, twist, twist it again, and there's 2 there. All right. Then I'm going to do it one more time with my red. Let's give it another 12-inch tail. Put it right on top. I'm cinching it, twist, and we're going to just do 2 this time. And I'm making the loops a little bit, so now I'm down to probably about 5 inches. A loop there, twist it, a loop here, and then how we finish it off so you don't see the wire that would be in the middle, so we're going to make a mini loop. So I'm twisting, and it's basically just a tiny loop. Can you see that's covering my thumb? I'm grabbing it, and now I got to get my wire, which is right here. And it probably would be helpful to have your wire pre-cut. And give yourself a good 2 feet so you have a lot of room. Okay, I'm taking my wire, feeding it through that center loop, bringing it around. And I would suggest, for me doing it right now, I'm not going to do it, but a lot of times what I do is I actually do 2 wires. Because if the first wire breaks, and believe me, that'll happen over time, you have another wire holding it. And then I'm going to twist the wire probably about 4 times. It's really good. Get it good. One more time. All right, I'm going to cut the wire off, and I like to leave a nice, have a lot of wire hanging because that'll give you, I've got a good probably 8 inches. That'll give you something really good to hold on to whatever you're putting. Then all you want to do is you're just going to separate these. It's hard for me because I'm not seeing what I'm doing. But does everyone kind of got the concept of it now? Okay, all right. So on my mantle, I like to have a big bow on each end coming down, and then some tails with it. So let's start the ribbon. All right, now I showed you how I stored the ribbon. My ribbon's already cut because I've used it before. So what I want to do is, I want to see, let me adjust this. I'm going to start at that end down there. Is I want to leave a little bit of a tail, and I want to fix this bow. I got to fix this bow first so I see where I'm starting. Let me get on this side. I'm going to add this. We'll add this one later. We'll add that later. I'm going to fix this bow. Okay. So I'm just going to start, and I am not going to wire each of these in. I'm literally going to use the greenery to twist around where I am cinching it. Okay, so I've cinched it here, and I'm just going to start up toward here. And I'm going to have that hang out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little poofs, I'm going to call them. There's really no name for them. But what I don't want to do is, this is what I don't want to do across the mantle. I don't want it to be flat. I want the mantle to have some dimension to it. So I'm leaving it like this. I've got a wire that's showing right now, so I don't want to do that, hide that. And I'm going to find a piece of greenery, and I'm literally going to wrap it around that to secure it in its spot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to separate it. So I want things coming up and down. So the next one, and I kind of like to have, another thing I don't like to do is if I'm doing this, I don't want to have the red all together and the gold all together. So I'm going to alternate it. So now I'm kind of switching it up. And it's probably about 12 inches, but I'm going to move it in so it's closer. And I'm going to twist the greenery around it. And I'm going to take it and do that to it. Okay. And we're going to just move across the mantle, doing the same thing. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do that to it.
Hey,
So now,
Sherry, we do have a question for you.
yes.
Kim was asking, where did the sparkle lights come from that you mentioned?
Sparkle lights, I just picked up the other day, and they were called they're called shimmering mini lights, and I got them at Hobby Lobby. But I know that Home Depot has carried them in their lighting section, and they call them random sparkle lights. They're both the same. So I would check. They did not, I used to get them at Michael's all the time, but Michael's really had scaled back on their lights this year. So, because I wanted to see if they had them so I could tell you guys, and they did not have them. But I did find them at Hobby Lobby, but I would try Home Depot. I'd also try Lowe's, and I'd also go on Amazon. Just random sparkle lights, 100 count, and they're the miniature lights. Miniature lights are, your tiny Christmas lights that you use. That's what they call it. Did that answer your question, Kim? Great. Okay.
Thank
Good.
you.
So I'm moving across. And I'm putting that down there. Now this, I'm going to bring it up, I think. I'm going to feed this through a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put it up in here. And then I think I'm going to leave this tail right now, and I'm going to start on a new piece. And I'll see what I want to do with that after, but let's leave that. Let me grab a new piece of ribbon. And you can see some of my pieces are shorter because I've used them. Now this one I'll do a little bit different. We'll start and we'll do a little bow, just 2 ears. So I'm going to do one just like I showed you, and I'm going to leave a little tail, not as big because this isn't an end bow. And then another one. And I'm going to cinch it. Sorry, I got to twist it first. Twist and do it. And I did them both together at the same time. Did you see both colors at the same time? And then let me grab my wire. Sorry about that. And I'm going to wire it together. So I don't leave, like if I make a bow like this, I don't leave it wired together when I take it down. I tear it apart and then I just roll it up for next year because it never comes out the same ever, any 2 years. But here I've got like a little bow right there. And I'm just going to incorporate that like right here. And I'm just going to wire it in. Okay, so a little bit different. And I've got a longer tail, so let's just take that and bend it in there and bring this up. Okay, let me grab some more ribbon. Okay, now after I told you I never leave it together, I guess I did leave this one together. This has just got one little rabbit ear. This came, so you could even do a single loop with both the colors. Take it, and we can start off with that. So let's just start right here. Okay, so there, you just got 2 right there. And then I'm going to bring these and start again what we were doing. See if I can find something to hook it onto. And you could, if it's easier for you to cut wire and continue attaching it that way, you can do that. I just find that the greenery works well. This one I'm going to bring back. Like that. Then we'll bring it back around to the front. And this has got a piece of greenery. Let's kind of do that. There we go. Now I've got an extra piece right here. So what we could do if we wanted is just make a little loop and not even use wire, and I'm just going to wire it in. There's an extra loop, and then I'm just going to tuck that right in also. Okay. And let's put the lights in. All right, and then let me grab the last couple pieces that are here. All right, I've got another one that just had 2 little loops left. So we'll start off with that. Now I'm going to tuck that up here maybe to give it a little bit of height. Okay, my tail. I want it to be in front of my angel. All right. And I'm going to grab this. Let's see if you can see where I'm at. Let me move this for you. Linda was at my house and saw this in person, and in person, it's probably a little bit easier to understand. But unfortunately, you can't do classes right now in person. But the nice thing is you'll have a tape of this that you can refer back to, and that's worth its money in gold, because when you get stuck, you can just play it and then go along. All right, let's get this piece in. One more. Kind of make it just like that. So it's very random how I'm doing it. Let's fix this bow. Okay, and we have this piece. Let's just make a little, we'll make a little tuft. I'll put the greenery around it and shove that in there. When we're all done, we'll tweak whatever doesn't look good, but that gives us a good, not crazy about this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. All right, so the next part I want to go to is these larger picks, okay? And I have a bunch of them, and I'm going to grab them, and I'll tell you how many I have. As we go, I'll count, okay? So I'll throw them on here. All right, so. All right, now I just pretty much throw them in the Tupperware bin and then have to, Rubbermaid bin, I should say, and then they need to be fluffed. But what I want to do with these is now I want to get some height. So here's the first one right here. So do you see how that added height to it right away? The next one, I'm going to do it here. So I don't mind that I have a picture above my mantle and it's going on top of it. I like to layer things so that they're sticking above. This one, what I'll do is, why don't we do this? I'm just going to shove that down there. I'm going to do this, so this one now is hanging down. And the nice thing about this is literally you can just push it in and it'll grip onto something. I think that'll stay. Let me get it in there just a little bit better. Okay, so see how that's now cascading downward. All right, so that was 3. This is our 4th one. And I think I'm going to do that right here. I want to be right in front of the angel, but kind of get it right there. Okay, that's 4. Where did I do it? Oh, okay. 5 will be here. And I'm going to come down again. And I'm spreading them out. That's 5. Let's see. I'll come back over here. This will be, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. I'm going to bring this down. There we go. Will be 7 and 8. Now I'm going to do it on the ends because I want the ends to be. There's that one. And I think what I'll do is I'll put one more in here somewhere. Okay, that's 8. I'll go to the other end now. There we go. And then let's put one in the bottom here. There we go. Let's fix this bow. Okay. So was that 8 or did we lose count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have a total of 10 of these. All right, so I'm just trying to take a look to see where I need something. And I'm going to put it right in here, I think. Nine, and I'm going to step back and look at it. I'm going to change up something now. I'm going to move this over here. And sometimes you got to do that. You start and then you're like, oh no, I need to fix that. And then I'm going to put one over here. Right in the middle. Okay. So can you see how that really has made that mantle now grow and be bigger and have a lot more dimension to it? So the next thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to add the balls and then the leaves, the feathers. What I want to show you with the trick with the balls is there are some single balls that I have in the in my bag of tricks, but also what I like to do is pre-cut a bunch of wire, maybe about 1 foot long. And let me grab this and put my screen down a little so you can see. Okay, what I like to do is group my balls. So I'm just threading them. You know, you've got a hook for them. And I'll tell you, to get plastic balls, go to Walmart. Walmart's a great place to go to. They have the big tubes of them and you can get them inexpensively. Or if you've already done your mantle this year, wait till the end of the season and pick them up. These are super cheap. Let me see, I'm trying to. So what I'm doing is I'm threading all 3 together. Now, because they're super cheap, you got to be careful when you're doing this that you don't pop the tops off. But then what I do is, okay, see, they're all 3 in a row. I group them so they're all together now, 3. And all I'm going to do is twist. I got to move my mouse. I got something weird going on here. Let me remind me later. Okay, there we go. So now they're all grouped together. It just makes a bigger impact, 3 balls versus 1. My whole tree, I'll do that one more time so you can see it. My whole tree, each of these are groups of 3 put together. And I do not take them apart after Christmas now, which makes life so much easier. And literally I throw them in a big Rubbermaid container. And they're all grouped together. They have the wire on them. I just do them on the tree. It just makes it, it just works better. So what we're going to do is now we're just going to attach some balls to it. So I'm going to take this and all I'm literally doing is wrapping it around the greenery. So there's 3 there. I'm going to grab my bag of them that I have. If I have individual ones, like this one broke it, the top is broke. Part of the top is broke, so I can't wire it. So all I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to shove it in there. I'm not even wiring it in because the greenery will hold it. I've got a lot of broken ones and I saved them from when I changed over my tree. So then I'll just literally just push it right in there and do it. But here's some, let me grab the groups of them. Make sure you can see me. Okay, so I'm just going to start putting them on here. I'll put that on Santa Claus. This one of the hooks is broken, so I only have 2 in here, but that's all right. Now here my wire was hanging out, so I want to hide that so you don't see wire. Okay, that ain't good enough. There we go. Let's see, I have one right here. 3 there. And this is, I mean, this is my bag, how many I'm going to use. So, see, these are 3 are wired together still. Sort of. See, if that was glass, it would have broke. But it's plastic, so I don't have to worry. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where I want to wire these. This takes the most amount of time. It's just the wiring these ends. There's. I take my individual ones that are broken. Yeah. There's 2 there. Does anyone have any other questions, or you're a quiet crowd? One there. 3 there. I'm just looking where there's an open spot, mainly greenery, and I just want to fill that in. It's kind of like the wreath that we did the other night. By the time you get done, there's still a lot of greenery, but there is a lot of it that's covered up because of all the stuff, the embellishments that you're putting on it. Let me get one right here on the end.
While you're doing that, Sherry, how many of you have got some great ideas of your own that you might think of? I know why watching Sherry, it inspires me. And I'm so glad I watched this again tonight, because it's about time for me to put my bows on my mantle. And honestly, I was going to be doing them incorrectly. I'm so glad I rewatched this, because it's much easier the way that she did them. But I'm always motivated to watch her. I know we're all extremely busy, but on the other hand, it's like the minute you see that, maybe you don't want to do it exactly like Sherry does, but the decorations that you have at home right now, or to add a few new ones in that you might want to add with the old ones, gives you ideas to perhaps decorate your own mantle the way you want. And it's kind of relaxing. At first thought, I'm not going to go through all that process. But you know what? A few years ago, after I had met with Sherry, and Paul and I went to her class, I came home and I couldn't wait to get started and just take some me time and just have an hour's time for myself to put that mantle together. And I know today, literally, if you saw my video, actually yesterday, it took me about 10 minutes. I only had 10 to 20 minutes space. And I'm going to get it started. And it comes together so quickly. And then if I could find another 20 minutes to go in it, and maybe another 20 minutes to finish it. But it looks really great. And I think the lights too, Sherry, is something I have not used before. And I think that's just a really good idea.
Okay, I think that that's enough for the balls. And then let me grab the leaves.
Hey, Sherry, Kim had a question. She wanted to know if when you're done, if you would just turn the lights off so
Yeah.
we can see what it looks like without them. The lights look beautiful, obviously, but you get a clearer look of exactly how you decorated when they're turned off.
Well, makes a big difference. When I usually during the day, I try, it doesn't look as pretty as when the lights are off. So these are feathers and they have kind of a wire that runs through it. So you can kind of bend them how you want them. So I'm just putting them, I'm not laying them flat. I want them to give it some height, some dimension. I'm giving it a little bit of bend. Then when I store them, I flatten them all out. This needs a little bit of filler in through here. So see how that just a little thing makes a huge difference. And I'll count these. So I told you there were 10 of those. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm on my fourth. I'm going to put one right there. 4. 5. These are inexpensive little things. 5, 6. And I like it cascading down. 7. We'll do another one of those. 7. 8. Gotta fix that. I'm crazy about that. 9. Maybe one here. 10. 11. 12. Put one right in there. 13. 14. And I'll put on, I just put on a movie that I might have wanted to watch, or if I'm binge watching something and have the TV running and just finish this. 14. I'm going to stand back. Sometimes you got to walk away from things and look at them. 14. I'm going to go here. 15. Go right in here. 15. Whoops. 16. Lost something. Let me put one here. 17. Put it behind this. 18. Right here. 19. I'll wire that in later. And I think I'll go. I gotta hide my cord a little better. And we'll put one here. 19. So there were 20 of them. I think I got them for like 99 cents. And I told the wreath class about a dollar store that, their stuff is unbelievable. If you're ever in the area of 27 Mile in Van Dyke, right on the corner, there's a laundromat there. It's near Brown Iron Brewery, if you've ever been there. But it is called Deb's Dollar. And I can't say enough. The stuff that they have for the holidays, for if you're a scrapbooker, if you're looking for glassware, everything in the store is $1. It's extremely clean. She's really nice. The owner, it's big. They have, each of the aisles are named by a different high school. And the stuff you can find in the picks that I got for the wreath, I picked up there for $1. So it's a great thing. a great place to look. But I mean, there it is. I'll probably tweak it a little bit, you know, in the next couple days. I always see stuff. We're never really happy with what we do. I know how that goes. But I'll walk by and fluff something or rearrange something a little bit more the next couple days. But and it's harder for me because I'm right on top of it looking right now. But you can see how, I mean, it's a fairly substantial piece when it's done. So I hope that, does anyone have any questions before I turn the lights off?
Again, don't forget to check out our website, www.lindarayteam.com. Don't forget to click on Donate to Habitat. Check that out. We also have our charities page on the website. You can see the other charities that we give to, not just during the holidays, but all year long. And if you have any questions regarding any of the charities or anything to do with real estate, you can give Linda a call at 248-709-3786. And thank you so much. You all have a wonderful evening and a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you,
Hi,
Kim.
everybody.
Hi,
Stay
everybody.
safe.
Thank you
Stay
so
safe.
much. It was wonderful. Thank you, Linda Ray team.
See
Thank
you
you.
later. All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Sherry.
Welcome. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
You
You
as
too.
well. Thanks, Sherry.
Bye-bye, honey.